Good morning. Your Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished ministers, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the organising committee, it is a great honour and privilege to welcome you all to the 31st Baku Energy Week. We are most grateful to His Excellency, Mr. Ilham Aliyev, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, for his presence here today. It highlights the importance this event holds for Azerbaijan's energy sector and for the international community as a whole. In 1994, under the leadership of national leader Heydar Aliyev, Azerbaijan entered a new chapter in its modern history. The first Caspian Oil and Gas exhibition, held alongside the signing of the historic contract of the century, laid the foundation for the country's long-term energy strategy and established Azerbaijan as a reliable and important partner in the global energy sector. Over the past 3 decades, Baku Energy Week has grown into one of the leading international energy platforms in the region, bringing together heads of states, ministers, global energy companies, investors and industry experts to discuss key priorities shaping the future of the energy industry. This year's edition holds particular significance as we mark the 30th anniversary of the Shah Deniz project, a landmark development that has made a substantial contribution to regional energy cooperation, energy security, and the diversification of energy supplies to the international markets. The importance of this milestone is reflected throughout this year's program and discussion. As you know, this year's Baku Energy Week is also accompanied by an extensive program of international events and high-level meetings, further strengthening Azerbaijan's role as an important platform for international dialogue, strategic partnership, and global cooperation. This 2026 edition brings together over 270 companies from 46 countries, including new participants and national pavilions, clearly reflecting the growing international interest in Azerbaijan's energy sector and confidence in the country's long-term strategic potential. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the Ministry of Energy of the Republic of Azerbaijan, SOCAR, and all our valued partners and sponsors for their continued support and contribution to the successful organization of this important event. Allow me to congratulate all participants on the opening of the 31st Baku Energy Week and to wish you all fruitful discussions, productive meetings, and continued success throughout the week. Thank you for your attention. I have now the great honor to invite His Excellency Mr. Ilham Aliyev, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, to the stage.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome all the participants of Baku Energy Week and wish this great event success. As it was already mentioned, Caspian Oil and Gas exhibition laid the foundation for the energy development of modern Azerbaijan. And by the time was passing, it transformed and became bigger. And now it is called Baku Energy Week with numerous events and a lot of very good ceremonies. As it was correctly mentioned, one of the biggest gas fields of the world, Shah Deniz contract, was signed exactly almost 30 years ago in June. 1996, and that actually opened the chapter of Azerbaijan's modern gas development, providing energy security for a growing number of countries. Importance of this event also is reflected in the kind letter of US President Donald Trump, and this once again demonstrates that Baku Energy Week really is one of the leading events on a global energy arena. I'm very grateful to President Trump for his kind message, and also very grateful to President of Turkey, Erdogan, and Prime Minister of UK, Starmer, for their messages to the event. President Trump deserves another gratitude for bringing back energy trend to normality. As we all know, for many years, countries and companies involved in oil and gas production have been demonized and sometimes blackmailed, accused of ruining the planet, and without any grounds being cornered in the public opinion. President Trump changed that trend. And that was really a remarkable event, because we all know that even some of the big oil companies even changed their names to be in line with so-called modern trends. But the reality is absolutely different. The world cannot live without fossil fuels. We all want to have a better climate, to save the planet. We all want to live in a better environment, but today we must be very pragmatic and based on realism, planning our future with respect to energy security, and also investing in renewables. I think this is a way how to move forward. So I think that what is happening now on the global energy arena really was generated by very wise and pragmatic policy of US President. And once again, we are all very grateful to him. The countries should not be blamed for having oil and gas, because oil and gas is a commodity like any other. And every country is using what they have under the soil or on the seabed in order to develop. And that was the case for Azerbaijan in the beginning of our independence. Oil and gas was the only way for us to survive as independent country. So countries should be judged not by having oil or not having oil, but by how they use revenues, how they invest the funds which they accumulate from energy development to develop the countries, to provide better living conditions for their people, how they invest in green agenda issues. And I think the example of Azerbaijan can be very illustrative, and they can demonstrate that when you open your country for international investments and conduct wise, based on national interest policy, you achieve success. It was mentioned by our distinguished participant and the organizer, by the way, many thanks to the organizers, that in 1994, energy development of Azerbaijan started. If you look back to 1994, we'll see that Azerbaijan was in a very bad shape. The country was economically totally disorganized, politically unstable. Part of the territories, approximately 20%, were under Armenian occupation. We had 1 million refugees, and that at that time was probably one of the highest per capita rate of refugees. We didn't have any funds, and we were importing electricity. We were importing even natural gas. The level of poverty was more than 50%. Unemployment was widespread. And the only way for us to survive as an independent country and to move forward was to use what we had, natural resources. And Azerbaijan was the first country to open Caspian reserves for international oil companies. And since that time, a lot has happened. And if we look at Azerbaijan today and to see this transformation, how we used this wealth, how we reinvested in social infrastructure, in education, in healthcare, in energy development, we will see that this is how the countries should develop. And this is a way for many other countries which today suffer more or less the same problems which we suffered back in beginning of 90s. Today, Azerbaijan's economic performance is very positive. Our ratings are growing year after year by the leading international rating agencies. And so far, we already have an investment grade rating. Poverty level was reduced to 5%. Unemployment around the same figures. We managed to reduce significantly foreign debt. We had to borrow in the beginning, but then our strategy was to stop borrowing and to repay the debts so that not to be dependent on any international financial institution. So today we have one of the lowest in the world foreign debt, which is something more than 6% of our GDP. And we accumulated reserves in our state oil fund and central bank. So our reserves exceed foreign debt more than 18 times. So all this happened first because we properly used our natural resources. We created a win-win situation for investors and for host country. And we conducted a very pragmatic, based on national interest policy, not listening to those who wanted to interfere or to give us some bad advice. We did everything based on our strategy, and all our tactical steps were based on that strategy. We built a strong army, which liberated occupied territories which have been under occupation for almost 30 years. Only in 44 days, we defeated Armenia completely and forced them to sign a capitulation act. And of course, military victory is not about money, and it is even not about weapons. It's about spirit. But let's be true, if we didn't have funds to build the army, probably today we still would have been under occupation. So development of Azerbaijan, whether it's social, economic, military, foreign policy, all that demonstrates that natural resources, when properly used, can generate a lot of advantages. Energy security, we all talk about that, especially now, when the crisis in the Middle East damaged largely energy security of many countries, producers and consumers. We worked on that for many years. We invested largely and initiated the large-scale infrastructure projects like Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan oil pipeline, connecting Caspian and Mediterranean for the first time, Baku-Supsa oil pipeline connecting Caspian and Black Sea, TANAP and TAP, Trans-Anatolian and Trans-Adriatic gas pipelines, which is, along with South Caucasus gas pipeline, is a part of the Southern Gas Corridor, one of the most ambitious energy infrastructure projects of today's time. 3,500 kilometers of integrated pipeline systems. Partly it goes across high mountains, partly on the seabed. Today provides energy security for a growing number of countries. We initiated that, and we're grateful to our partners, countries and companies who were together with us. Today it's difficult to imagine what European energy market would look like without the Southern Gas Corridor. We provide gas supply, as I said, to a growing number of countries. Last year here at the Baku Energy Week, I reported the audience that we have 12 countries recipients of Azerbaijani gas. Today their number is 16, and 10 of them are members of the European Union. And the number will grow, definitely. By supplying pipeline gas to different countries and the area, the geography, if you look at that parameter, we are number one in the world. And we will increase our gas supply. And today, by the way, we'll have a very good ceremony and signing of several documents. And especially I would like to underline AZERTADЖ, so-called, as we call it, deep gas project, which will generate additional gas production along with Absheron, along with many others. So our contribution to a global energy security will definitely grow. Right energy policy allowed us now to invest outside of Azerbaijan. It was a time 30 years ago when we were attracting investors. Now we are going with our investments outside. Today our state oil company SOCAR is investing in Middle East, in Africa, in Central Asia, and the geography will grow. We are providing crucial transit for our friends and partners who live on the eastern shores of the Caspian. Oil from Central Asia is moving through Azerbaijan's territory to international market. The time will come, I hope, that the same will be with natural gas. We created a very diversified downstream capacity. Today, our refinery potential of SOCAR is more than 30 million tons. And by recent acquisition of Italiana Petroleum, our refinery capacity in the Mediterranean grew from 13 to 23 million tons. So we not only provide oil, gas, but also oil products. We also export electricity, petrochemicals. Renewables is one of the important areas of our concentration. And as I said prior, the countries should not be judged by having oil, but how they use the revenues and how they invest in renewables. With our gas reserves, which will be enough for us for at least 100 years, and not only for us, but also for our clients, we actually do not need to have any other source of, electricity generation. But our responsibility dictates that we need to invest in renewables, and we do it, along with our partners, creating very good conditions for investors, more or less the same as it was in the beginning of the 90s for oil companies. Now, the same level of cooperation and investment-friendly approach is applied to companies in renewable energy. We already have several in operation. By the end of next year, we will have 2 gigawatts of solar and wind. By the end of 2032, we will have 8 gigawatts of solar and wind. And if we add hydro, which we actively developed, especially in the liberated areas of Karabakh and Eastern Zangezur, already more than 300 megawatts have been commissioned. So this is another potential. And this will be a supplementary to oil and gas exports. We work today closely with our partners on energy cables. Black Sea energy cable, which today is very close to complete its feasibility study, will stretch from Azerbaijan to Georgia on the Black Sea, to Romania, Hungary, and many other countries. Another project, which is an onshore electric cable, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Turkey, Bulgaria, is also in the phase of implementation, and recently there was a very productive meeting of the governmental officials of these countries. We are working also on a green energy cable from eastern shores of the Caspian towards Azerbaijan, along with our partners in Central Asia. So this is a big geography, and connectivity is not only transportation, though in this area we also can be proud of our achievements connecting the continents. By investing in railroad and highway infrastructure, we opened the new corridors for transportation. East-West corridor is functioning successfully. Zengezur corridor, which will be another branch of East-West corridor, will definitely be constructed based on the document signed in White House on the 8th August between President of the United States, Prime Minister of Armenia, and myself. So all this is a big asset for all of us. And another issue which I'd like to underline, we achieved all that with a high level of diplomatic activity, because we are landlocked. We don't have access to oceans. So for us to export our resources, we need to go across the countries. And in order to do it, you have to have good relations with your neighbors and the neighbors of your neighbors. And we managed to do it. Today, as I said, 16 countries receive gas from Azerbaijan through Southern Gas Corridor and its extensions. So with all of these countries, we had negotiations, agreements, disagreements, signing ceremonies. So this creates a very broad regional, in a broad sense of this word, regional cooperation format. And Azerbaijan, again, was the driving force. It was our resources, it was our initiatives, it was mainly our investments which created this very broad cooperation format. And I'm sure that, as always, Baku Energy Week will produce good results. We will see some of them just in several minutes. But also the discussion, interaction, new ideas, and of course, result-oriented plans will be good for all of us. I thank you once again for being with us and wish Baku Energy Week success. Thank you.
Выступивший затем помощник государственного секретаря Соединенных Штатов Америки по делам экономики, энергии и бизнеса Caspian Oil сказал:
His Excellency Ilham Aliyev, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Baku, May 28, 2026. Dear Mr. President, I extend my congratulations to you and the people of Azerbaijan as you host the 31st Baku Energy Week. This achievement is a testament to Azerbaijan's leadership and energy security. Our countries have a long history of cooperation in the hydrocarbon sector and share a commitment to affordable, abundant energy. The United States has been a tremendous supporter of Azerbaijan's oil and gas industry, and I strongly believe that our foundational partnership on global energy security that will only become more essential in the years ahead. We charted a path forward when we met at the White House and delivered lasting peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan. As you know, regional energy integration is a key pillar of the historic August 8 Peace Summit. My administration looks forward to productive discussions on this topic in June. Together, we will advance peace, strengthen prosperity, and establish a more secure future for your region and the world. Once again, congratulations on the success of Baku Energy Week. Sincerely, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America.
Затем министр энергетики и природных ресурсов Турецкой Республики Арпаслан Байрактар зачитал послание президента Реджепа Тайипа Эрдогана Бакинской энергетической недели.
Saygıdeğer katılımcılar, kıymetli misafirler, sizleri en kalbi duygularımla, muhabbetle selamlıyorum. 30 yılı aşkın süredir küresel enerji liderlerini, yatırımcıları ve şirketleri bir araya getiren bu güzide foruma mesaj göndermek suretiyle de olsa hitap etmekten büyük bir memnuniyet duyuyorum. Bölgemizdeki gelişmeler Azerbaycan'la birlikte enerji alanında attığımız adımların ne kadar isabetli olduğunu bir kez daha bizlere gösteriyor. Bölgemiz için hayal olarak nitelendirilen birçok mega projeyi Azerbaycan'la birlikte başarıyla hayata geçirmeye devam ediyoruz. Bakü-Tiflis-Ceyhan, Bakü-Tiflis-Erzurum ve TANAP boru hattı gibi projeler Azerbaycan'la birlikte başlattığımız ve bir diğer dost ülke Gürcistan'ın katkılarıyla tamamladığımız projeler olmayı sürdürüyor. Azeri Çırak Güneşli ve Şahdeniz ortaklığımız suretiyle Azerbaycan'la işbirliğimizin daha da derinleştiğini görüyoruz. Şafak Asiman'daki yeni ortaklığımız bu işbirliğimizin hız kesmeden sürdüğünün adeta yeni kanıtı niteliğinde. Geçtiğimiz yıl hizmete giren Iğdır-Nahçıvan boru hattı, Nahçıvan bölgesinin enerji arz güvenliğini desteklemiş ve pekiştirmiştir. Türkiye-Azerbaycan arasındaki elektrik bağlantıları bizler için stratejik önemde olmayı sürdürüyor. İnşallah Türkiye, Azerbaycan, Gürcistan ve Bulgaristan arasında yeşil elektrik iletimi ve ticareti projesinin hayata geçirilmesiyle birlikte tüm bölgemizin enerji güvenliğine katkı sunmayı temenni ediyoruz. Aynı şekilde geçtiğimiz Ağustos ayında Türkiye-Azerbaycan ortak girişimi sonucunda Suriye'ye başlayan gaz tedariğinin bu ülkenin kalkınmasına ve bölgesel güvenliğe katkıları tartışılmazdır. Türkmen gazının Azerbaycan ve Türkiye üzerinden ihracı hususunda işbirliğimizi geliştirmek için önümüzde büyük fırsatlar bulunmaktadır. Kazakistan'ın doğal kaynaklarının batı pazarlarına ulaştırılmasında Bakü-Tiflis-Ceyhan hattının daha da artarak kullanıldığına şahit oluyoruz. Değerli katılımcılar, Türkiye olarak yenilenebilir ve yeşil enerji dahil enerjinin tüm boyutlarında verimlilik ve çevreye saygıyı esas alarak etkinliği sağlamaya yönelik bir vizyona sahibiz. Küresel iklim eyleminde öncü ve örnek ülkelerden biri olma kararlılığımızı bu yıl 9-20 Kasım tarihlerinde Antalya'da ev sahipliğini yapacağımız COP31 zirvesiyle pekiştireceğiz. Bu düşüncelerle Bakü Enerji Haftası'nın ülkelerimiz ve bölgemiz için hayırlara vesile olmasını temenni ediyorum. Etkinliğin düzenlenmesinde emeği geçenlere teşekkür ediyor. Aziz kardeşim Cumhurbaşkanı Sayın Aliyev'i ve tüm katılımcıları muhabbetle selamlıyorum. Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, Türkiye Cumhurbaşkanı.
Выступивший далее торговый комиссар Великобритании по региону Восточной Европы и Центральной Азии Дэвид Рид сказал:
Dear President Aliyev, I am pleased to extend my warm greetings to everyone gathered for Baku Energy Week 2026. At a time of global uncertainty, Azerbaijan remains a vital partner for strengthening energy security and resilience. When I visited Baku to attend COP29 18 months ago, I was struck by the seriousness with which Azerbaijan was approaching the energy transition. Since then, plans have become actions, with accelerating production of energy from renewable sources and ambitious solutions to transport green energy across land and sea. Your country has played a key role in boosting Ukraine's energy resilience in the face of Russia's sustained and illegal assault on its energy infrastructure. Your country has enabled European countries to build their energy resilience through enhancing diversity of supply chains. And in the past year, your country has begun energy exports to Armenia, underpinning your commitment to lasting peace. As we work towards our shared climate goals, the United Kingdom remains committed to working alongside Azerbaijan to accelerate the global energy transition, which is central to this government's plans to strengthen our resilience and reach net zero by 2050. Our long-standing energy partnership, spearheaded by British industry, continues to serve as a cornerstone of our bilateral relationship and a catalyst for growth in both our countries. By combining our expertise in renewable energy and clean technologies, we can drive the innovation necessary to achieve net zero and secure a prosperous and sustainable future. I commend your leadership on this initiative and wish you and all your participants a highly productive and successful event. Best wishes, Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Руководитель отдела по энергетической безопасности и международным отношениям главного директората по энергетике Европейской комиссии Кристина Лабильо-Барреро сказала:
Azerbaijan has a crucial role as an energy partner and as a part of the European Union broader connectivity agenda. Let me therefore thank Azerbaijan for bringing together today governments, industry, investors, and technology providers to this very important event. For many years, this forum has been a recognized world meeting point for energy sector, not only for the Caspian region, but also for Europe and the wider international energy community. Baku has a long and distinguished energy history, but it's also a place where the future of energy partnerships is being discussed. For the European Union, when it comes to energy security, diversification has become a strategic priority. Azerbaijan and the Caspian region have significantly contributed to this effort, including through the Southern Gas Corridor, which has helped strengthen the resilience of Europe's energy supplies. This contribution is very much valued. Since 2021, the European Union has increased Azerbaijani natural gas import by more than 40%. And just this January, the Trans-Adriatic pipeline saw its first level of capacity expansion by 1.2 BCM this year, which will enable additional gas delivery to the European Union in 2026. Our cooperation with Azerbaijan is highly important on renewables and interconnectors. We closely follow the planned Caspian Black Sea Europe Green Energy Corridor, which is part of a broader discussion on future connectivity between the Caspian region, the South Caucasus, and Europe. The European Union wants to continue cooperation with Azerbaijan in this spirit, with openness, pragmatism, mutual benefit, and a shared commitment to secure affordable and increasingly sustainable energy.
Выступивший затем генеральный секретарь форума стран-экспортеров газа Филипп Мшелбила сказал:
Allow me first of all to warmly congratulate the government and people of the Republic of Azerbaijan on the occasion of the 108th anniversary of Azerbaijan's National Day last week. I wish you all continued prosperity, growth, and success under the leadership of His Excellency, President Ильхам Алиев. Today, Azerbaijan is writing a new chapter in this long energy history, from oil to natural gas, and now to renewables. Azerbaijan has shown that energy leadership is not about standing still, it is about adapting to change, investing in the future, connecting markets, and building trust, very importantly. Through its balanced approach to natural gas and renewable energy, and through extensive international energy cooperation, Azerbaijan has become a reliable and strategic energy partner. Its gas, as has been said, now reaches about 16 countries, and that number is growing. This makes the country number one in terms of its reach. At the Gas Exporting Countries Forum, we highly value Azerbaijan's participation in our work. As one of the important natural gas exporters, Azerbaijan brings valuable experience to the dialogue among producing countries. We would be honored to see that this engagement is further deepened in a manner that reflects Azerbaijan's growing role in both regional as well as global gas markets. Baku Energy Week is convening at a time when the global energy system is being reshaped by geopolitical imbalances, by technological change, by investment uncertainty, and rising expectations for sustainability. And all this is happening at a time when energy demand continues to rise.
Генеральный директор Международного агентства по возобновляемым источникам энергии Франческо Лакамера сказал:
I would like to express my sincere gratitude to my dear friend Patrice Shabazov, Minister of Energy of Azerbaijan, for bringing under the leadership of his president here together at such pivotal moment. I commend Azerbaijan for its leadership in placing renewable energy at the center of its national agenda, including its ambition to deliver 2 gigawatts of a green energy project by 2027, as has been just said. I would like also to highlight Azerbaijan's active role in ARENA's governance, being a member of our Council for 2026 and Vice Chair of the 17th ARENA Assembly in 2027. In addition, Azerbaijan played a key role in launching ARENA's Accelerated Partnership for Renewable Energy in Central Asia, Africa, at COP29 in Baku. And we are already working with our friends from Turkey, the minister here, and the president designated of COP. And I hope, I'm sure, that we can replicate the same success that we have collaborated with Azerbaijan, with you, Minister, and your colleague Babayev, that played the role of president of the COP29.
Выступивший затем президент СОКАР Ровшан Наджаф сказал:
Your Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished guests, today we are witnessing the beginning of a new chapter of the history of Azeri-Chirag-Günashli field. With the commencement of the first non-associated gas production, one of the world's most important offshore energy projects is entering a fundamentally new phase of long-term growth and strategic value creation. It is a strategic milestone that marks ACG's transformation from a major oil-producing asset into an integrated energy project, continuing to create new opportunities for Azerbaijan and its partners. For more than 3 decades, ACG has been globally recognized primarily as a major oil-producing asset and an important source of associated gas. The commencement of non-associated gas production now demonstrates the project's continuing ability to unlock new potential, support long-term energy security, and reinforce Azerbaijan's role in international energy markets. Distinguished participants, at the same time, this new phase demonstrates Azerbaijan's growing capability in mature field redevelopment, brownfield optimization, and integrated offshore development. The experience gained through ACG positions Azerbaijan as an increasingly important center of expertise for long-term resource recovery. Equally important, this new phase is being implemented through efficient utilization of existing infrastructure, advanced drilling technologies, and integrated offshore development solutions. This significantly enhances both economic efficiency and long-term sustainability of the project. At a time when energy markets and energy security and supply sustainability remain critically important, Azerbaijan continues to demonstrate its role as a reliable, long-term, and responsible energy supplier for the region. Ladies and gentlemen, the achievement we celebrate today is a result of visionary strategy, strong international partnership, and many years of dedicated collective effort. First and foremost, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to His Excellency Mr. President Ильхам Алиев for his wise and far-sighted leadership. The successful implementation of this important project once again reflects the strategic vision and continuous attention of His Excellency towards the sustainable development and long-term strengthening of Azerbaijan's energy sector. For each member of our team, it's a great privilege and at the same time an honorable responsibility to contribute to the further development of our company under the guidance of Mr. President, who was the source of transformation of SOCAR from domestic oil company to the international energy company. In his capacity as the senior management of SOCAR, personally participating in and overseeing the execution of the most important regional oil and gas projects. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to all our international partners, stakeholders, engineers, geologists, technicians, and all specialists whose professionalism, commitment, and teamwork made this important milestone possible. The first non-associated gas production from ACG is more than an operational achievement. It's a powerful demonstration that even after more than 30 years of successful production, ACG continues to reveal new opportunities, generate new strategic value, and contribute to Azerbaijan's long-term development. Thank you for your attention.
Исполнительный вице-президент BP по добыче и операциям Гордон Биррелл сказал:
Your Excellency, President Aliyev, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, ministers, dear friends, it is my very real pleasure to be back in Azerbaijan, my home for many years, and a place that always feels very special to me. We meet to celebrate first commercial gas at ACG, the work of a great many people. Yet in a larger sense, we are here today because of one man's vision. Here was the challenge faced by national leader Heydar Aliyev all those years ago. A newly independent country, an oil industry desperately in need of modernization. His vision, Azerbaijan restored to its rightful place as a great energy exporting nation. The plan, open up, bring in capital, bring in expertise, build a new industry from the ground up. And that vision is what brought my company to Baku 32 years ago, to sign the contract of the century. Since then, ACG has produced around 4.6 billion barrels of oil for export to the markets of the world. Together, we've built a skilled energy workforce. Over 90% of BP's team here in Azerbaijan are Azerbaijani nationals. Baku's skyline has grown higher, brighter and brighter under the leadership of President Aliyev. And Azerbaijan has become a cornerstone of the world's energy security. Which brings me to our latest project. The original ACG production sharing agreement didn't cover the development of non-associated gas. That's because the markets and infrastructure didn't yet exist. We had to build them. Now, through the addendum we signed 2 years ago, we can access an estimated 4 to 6 trillion cubic feet of recoverable reserves. And today, we press the button on the start of operations. So first, I want to acknowledge the incredible work of our team and partners in getting us here. ACG is a giant and complex field, among the world's largest. The non-associated gas exists in formations above and below the oil. And a nice bonus, at the bottom of the deeper reservoir, we've discovered a thin rim of oil between the gas and the water. All of this demands great technical skill to read the rock, to plot a pathway for the wells, to integrate new gas systems with existing oil infrastructure, to operate complex technology like horizontal drilling or advanced geosteering, to do all this safely, efficiently, and reliably. And so I pay tribute to our BP Azerbaijan team, to SOCAR, to our partners in the ACG project, and also our hundreds of local and international contractors. This is a true international team effort. I also want to thank President Ilham Aliyev and the government of Azerbaijan. For any nation, abundant oil and gas is a blessing, but it's never enough on its own. A truly great hydrocarbon sector requires patience and a readiness to invest. The ability to think in decades, not just annual budget cycles, which is exactly what you have here in Azerbaijan. Visionary leadership, a brilliant national partner in SOCAR, a smart ministry and regulator, always open to new ideas about how to lift more barrels. Which brings me to the future. Today, we have 10 world-scale offshore rigs running in the Caspian Sea, and they will go on for many, many years to come. We have a healthy project pipeline, work to keep us busy for years to come, and that's exactly how we like it. There's the Shah Deniz compression project. Local yards today are fabricating the platforms as we speak. This is a $2.9 billion investment. There's the Karabakh field, ACG's first subsea tieback. We're also building a facility to make the pipelines and cables in a single bundle, the first of its kind here in the Caspian. And then there's the solar project at Jabriel. This will help electrify Sangashal terminal and free up gas for export. We're also proud to make a contribution beyond energy to help build capability in universities, environmental programs and cultural institutions across the land. That is what partnership means to us. It's about working together to shape the future. And that's not all. Azerbaijan has long been the Caspian's premier producer. I believe it can be greater still. A new Silk Road linking production in Central Asia to markets in Europe and beyond. BP just recently signed their first production sharing agreement in Uzbekistan, accessing 6 new blocks operated by SOCAR. And as BP, we've agreed to evaluate and potentially develop in Kazakhstan. We know how to build energy corridors. We know how to link platforms, pipelines, terminals, and customers. We also know how to build strong and enduring partnerships. Together, we can do even more. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, there is plenty of work ahead, but today we celebrate. We celebrate new gas production, new opportunities for ACG, and new data that will tell us more about the potential of this incredible field. We also celebrate the care and skill of our people, the friendship between your nation and BP, the talent and teamwork, the vision and the plan that makes it happen. And we never forget what it's all about: keeping the lights on, keeping the world moving and growing, a stronger and more secure energy system. Thank you.
Затем была проведена церемония начала добычи первого свободного газа на блоке месторождений Азери-Чирак-Гюнешли.
Production of the first non-associated gas from the Azeri-Chirag-Guneshli field. Azeri-Chirag-Guneshli field is one of the largest offshore hydrocarbon developments in the region. Traditionally known for oil production, it also contains significant non-associated gas resources. On the 20th of September 1994, Joint Development and Production Sharing Agreement for ACG was signed. Known as the Contract of the Century, it ensured legal and commercial framework for international investors, laying the foundation for the country's new energy strategy. In 2017, a PSA was extended until 2050, opening a new phase for long-term development. Geological studies confirmed major NAG accumulations above and below currently producing oil reservoirs. The well, drilled from the Chirag platform in 2023, confirmed significant NAG resources. On the 20th of September 2024, an addendum to the existing PSA was announced for the exploration and development of ACG NAG reservoirs. In 2025, an initial production well drilled from the West Chirag platform confirmed gas presence in the Kinmaki upper sand and discovered deeper high-pressure resources in the Kinmaki lower sand reservoirs. The ACG NAG resources are estimated at around 4 trillion cubic feet of recoverable reserves, with potential upside to around 6 trillion cubic feet. Infrastructure modifications on the West Chirag platform were completed to enable first production. The ACG NAG project will strengthen Azerbaijan's role as a reliable long-term energy supplier and supports export diversification.
После этого состоялась церемония подписания документов. Были подписаны соглашения между государственной нефтяной компанией Азербайджанской Республики Total Energies EP Absheron BV, Sokar Absheron, Adnok International Project Co-1, RSC Limited и Боташ Булухатлары или Петрол Ташима Аше о купле-продаже природного газа с месторождения Абшерон, протокол о намерениях между государственной нефтяной компанией Азербайджанской Республики и государственной электроэнергетической компанией Сербии Электропривреда Сербии по проекту Нижской газотурбинной электростанции в Сербии, меморандум о взаимопонимании между государственной нефтяной компанией Азербайджанской Республики и компанией Shell Overseas Holdings Limited, генеральное соглашение между Sokar Trading Gas and Power SARL и Azienda Autonoma di Stato per i Servizi Pubblici по поставке и приему природного газа, меморандум о взаимопонимании между государственной нефтяной компанией Азербайджанской Республики и компанией JP Morgan Securities PLC, соглашение между государственной нефтяной компанией Азербайджанской Республики и компанией Chevron Caspian Exploration BV о совместных исследованиях, меморандум о взаимопонимании между государственной нефтяной компанией Азербайджанской Республики и компанией Apollo Capital Management LP, соглашение о поддержке инвестиций между государственной нефтяной компанией Азербайджанской Республики Sokar Turkey Energy AŞ, Sokar Caspian Holding Limited и обществом с ограниченной ответственностью AP Caspian Issuer, письмо о намерениях по сотрудничеству между государственной нефтяной компанией Азербайджанской Республики и Университетом Джорджа Вашингтона, соглашение о сотрудничестве между государственной нефтяной компанией Азербайджанской Республики и компанией Haymaker AI Inc. по развитию облака искусственного интеллекта и рамочный документ между Азербайджаном и США по обеспечению поставок в области добычи и переработки критически важных минералов и редкоземельных элементов. Президент Ильхам Алиев подписал памятную книгу выставки. Затем глава государства ознакомился с выставками. Бакинская энергетическая неделя, которая продлится до 3 июня, является самым престижным энергетическим мероприятием Каспийского региона. Она объединяет мировых лидеров энергетической отрасли, ведущие энергетические компании мира, государственные структуры, инвесторов и отраслевых экспертов. Это мероприятие, являющееся логическим продолжением выставки Caspian Oil and Gas, начало которой было заложено по инициативе и при поддержке великого лидера Гейдара Алиева, за многие годы существования сформировалась в качестве надежной энергетической платформы как на региональном, так и на международном уровнях. Бакинская энергетическая неделя объединяет 3 значимых мероприятия: 31-ю международную выставку «Нефти, газ, Каспия» Caspian Oil Gas, 14-ю Каспийскую международную выставку «Чистая, энергетика» Caspian Power и 31-й Бакинский энергетический форум. На протяжении многих лет мероприятия, проводимые в рамках Бакинской энергетической недели, проходят при поддержке Министерства энергетики, а Sokar выступает в качестве генерального партнера. В нынешнем мероприятии участвуют 276 компаний из 46 стран мира. По количеству стран-участниц это рекордный показатель в истории выставки. Германия и Россия представлены на Бакинской энергетической неделе национальными павильонами. Около 60% участников выставки составляют иностранные компании, а 40% местные предприятия. 40% всей выставочной площади занимают постоянные участники. Крупнейшая энергетическая компания региона, государственная нефтяная компания Азербайджанской Республики Sokar, занимается поисково-разведочными работами, добычей, транспортировкой, переработкой, производством химической продукции, маркетингом, розничной продажей топлива, распределением газа и развитием возобновляемых источников энергии. Sokar осуществляет деятельность более чем в 15 странах мира. Компания расширяет наше славное нефтегазовое наследие посредством инновационных технологий, успешно вносит вклад в устойчивое развитие и энергетическую безопасность в местном, региональном и международном контексте. Согласно корпоративной стратегии, до 2035 года долгосрочными целями Sokar являются превращение в современную энергетическую компанию, развивающую деятельность путем цифровизации, инноваций и перехода к зеленой энергетике. BP Азербайджан, как глобальная энергетическая компания, выступает одним из крупнейших международных партнеров нашей страны в энергетическом секторе и является оператором основных нефтегазовых месторождений в Каспийском море. Компания осуществляет деятельность в качестве оператора блока нефтяных месторождений Азери, Чирай, Гюнашли и газоконденсатного месторождения Шахданейс. Добываемые углеводороды перерабатываются на Сангачальском терминале, который считается стратегическим центром BP по региону, и транспортируются на международные рынки посредством нефтепровода Баку-Тбилиси-Джейхан, Южно-Кавказского трубопровода, газопроводов Танап и ТАП. В настоящее время компания реализует на АЧГ проект платформы ЭЙС, проекты Шахданейс компрессия, Шафак-Асиман, а также проекты по электрификации платформ и зеленой энергии. BP также уделяет особое внимание развитию местных кадров в Азербайджане. Большую часть работников BP Азербайджан составляют местные специалисты. Total Energies является одной из крупнейших энергетических компаний Франции в области нефти и газа, сжиженного природного газа, возобновляемой энергии и электроэнергии. Компания осуществляет деятельность в Азербайджане с 1996 года в числе основных международных энергетических партнеров нашей страны. Total Energies обладает 5% долей в трубопроводе Баку-Тбилиси-Джейхан и является одним из основных участников проекта разработки газоконденсатного месторождения Апшерон. Компания владеет 35% долей в данном месторождении и реализует проект совместно с СОКАР. Добыча на первой фазе месторождения Апшерон была начата в июле 2023 года. В настоящее время производственная мощность составляет 4 миллиона кубометров газа и 13 тысяч баррелей конденсата в сутки. Добываемый газ направляется на внутренний рынок Азербайджана. В 2025 году партнеры дали старт этапу первичного технического проектирования по полномасштабной разработке месторождения. На очередном этапе проекта в период максимальной добычи предусматривается добывать дополнительные 110 тысяч баррелей нефтяного эквивалента в сутки. В то же время компания расширяет сотрудничество с Азербайджаном в области энергетического перехода, декарбонизации и зеленой энергии. Компания в сфере возобновляемой энергии Аква Королевства Саудовская Аравия является крупнейшим в мире частным оператором в области опреснения морской воды, выступает одной из ведущих компаний в сфере технологий зеленого водорода и глобальной энергетической трансформации. Созданная в 2004 году, Аква в настоящее время осуществляет деятельность в 15 странах, в том числе на Ближнем Востоке, в Африке, Центральной и Юго-Восточной Азии. Портфель компании включает более 100 проектов в сфере энергетики и водных ресурсов с общей инвестиционной стоимостью более 117 миллиардов долларов США. В Азербайджане Аква работает преимущественно в области зеленой энергетики и является одним из основных международных партнеров в реализации стратегии энергетического перехода страны. Компания выступает инвестором ветряной электростанции мощностью 240 мегаватт, расположенном в Хызинском и Апшеронском районах. Данный проект является одним из первых крупных проектов Азербайджана в области возобновляемой энергии с иностранными инвестициями. Аква также сотрудничает с СОКАР по проектам ветровой энергии в Каспийском море и зеленого водорода. Американская компания SLB является глобальной технологической компанией в энергетическом секторе. Как одна из крупнейших в мире компаний в сфере нефтесервиса и энергетических технологий, SLB более века сохраняет лидирующие позиции в энергетическом секторе, превращая самые сложные задачи отрасли в технологические инновации. Сегодня компания SLB работает в области разведки нефтегазовых месторождений, бурения, геофизики, цифровых технологий и решения для энергетического перехода. В Азербайджане компания функционирует много лет и является одним из основных технологических партнеров в таких крупных проектах, как АЧГ и Шахданейс. SLB в сотрудничестве с BP и СОКАР предоставляет услуги по бурению, техническому обслуживанию, автоматизации и цифровым решениям. В последние годы компания также уделяет особое внимание сокращению выбросов, цифровизации и устойчивым энергетическим технологиям. Компания «АЗЕРТАДЖ», международная компания «Однок» в сфере энергетических инвестиций, сформировала глобальный портфель в области природного газа, химической промышленности и энергетических решений. Основанная в 2024 году компания в настоящее время расширяет свою деятельность в сфере СПГ, газовой инфраструктуры, низкоуглеродной энергетики, зеленого водорода и энергетической трансформации. В рамках стратегии регионального сотрудничества «Однок» в Азербайджане компания укрепляет свои стратегические позиции на мировом энергетическом рынке, развивая сотрудничество с СОКАР в области энергетического перехода, газовой инфраструктуры и низкоуглеродных проектов. Узбекнефтегаз – национальная нефтегазовая компания Узбекистана и одна из крупнейших государственных энергетических структур Центральной Азии. Функционирует в сферах разведки нефтегазовых месторождений, добычи, переработки, производства нефтехимической продукции и энергетической инфраструктуры. В последние годы компания Узбекнефтегаз, активно инвестирующая в проекты по переработке газа, нефтехимии и энергоэффективности, расширяет сотрудничество с международными партнерами. В Азербайджане компания присутствует преимущественно в рамках регионального энергетического сотрудничества и международных энергетических платформ, укрепляет партнерство с СОКАР и другими компаниями посредством обмена опытом и реализации энергетических проектов. Базирующая в Объединенных Арабских Эмиратах компания «Масдар» сегодня имеет глобальный портфель проектов мощностью более 50 гигаватт. Компания планирует увеличить эту цифру до 100 гигаватт к 2030 году. В настоящее время «Масдар», входящая в число ведущих участников глобального энергетического перехода, является одним из наиболее активных международных партнеров Азербайджана в области зеленой энергетики. Компания выступает в качестве инвестора Городакской солнечной электростанции мощностью 230 мегаватт, первой в стране крупной солнечной электростанции промышленного масштаба. Будучи одним из основных партнеров нашей страны в реализации национальной стратегии зеленой энергетики, «Масдар» сотрудничает с СОКАР и правительством Азербайджана в разработке проектов в области солнечной и ветровой энергии общей мощностью в несколько гигаватт. Учрежденная в 1973 году китайская компания China Petroleum Pipeline Engineering осуществляет строительство нефтегазопроводов. Компания также специализируется на инфраструктуре хранения и транспортировки энергии и реализует более 70% всех долгосрочных трубопроводных проектов в Китае. Она функционирует по всей производственной цепочке, включая научные исследования, проектирование, консалтинг, строительство и эксплуатацию. Международная деятельность компании охватывает более 50 стран, а основные направления ее деятельности включают проекты нефтегазопроводов, компрессорных станций, терминалов СПГ и энергетической инфраструктуры. В настоящее время компания рассматривает возможность налаживания сотрудничества с СОКАР в качестве потенциального партнера. Турецкая национальная нефтяная компания «Türkiye Petrolleri Anonim Ortaklığı» – это глобальная энергетическая компания с более чем 70-летним опытом в разведке и добыче углеводородов. Имея широкий международный портфель проектов, реализуемых в Азербайджане, Ираке, Ливии, Пакистане, Сомали и других странах, компания занимается разведкой, добычей, бурением и управлением нефтегазовыми проектами. Она работает в Азербайджане с 1994 года и обладает долевым участием в проектах «Шах-Денис», «Азери-Чирак-Гюнешли», «Южно-Кавказский трубопровод», «Баку-Тбилиси-Джейхан» и «Шафак-Асиман». ТПАО играет важную роль в развитии энергетического сотрудничества между Азербайджаном и Турцией, участвует в важных проектах по обеспечению энергетической безопасности региона. В качестве одного из главных направлений своей долгосрочной стратегии компания определила принцип устойчивого развития и экологической ответственности.